Welcome to Gardening with Ben, the podcast where we dig into the soil of our gardens and the depths of our green thumbs. I'm your host Ben, here to guide you through the joys of gardening from sowing seeds to reaping bountiful harvests. Each episode will explore tips, tricks and tales from the garden and allotment, sharing insights from ourselves and stories from our own back garden adventures. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just getting your hands dirty for the first time, there's something here for everyone. So grab your brew and gardening gloves and let's get growing with Gardening with Ben. Hello and welcome back to Gardening with Ben with a brand new podcast. We're now in March, can you believe it? February is past already, even though it's a longer month. February was this month. It's still flown by, but wow, have we got a lot done at my allotment. And as we're now in March, we need to do our February roundup and share with you everything that we've got done down at the allotment, ready before the next episode, which will be what jobs to do in March. So make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, and that will be out early in the morning. So yeah, what have we been up to down at the allotment in February? Well, it's been non-stop. The weather has not been that bad, to be honest. It's been awful today, beginning of March, but it's not been a bad February whatsoever, and we've got absolutely loads done. I've near enough got all my allotment ready now, ready for the growing season, and I set myself a mission and I've completed it. I can't believe how much I've actually done down at my allotment. I must have chucked at least 30 bags of rubbish away this winter from my allotment from how much rubbish I've collected over the years and over the past year down at the allotment, but it's certainly looking a lot more better. And yeah, what have we been doing? Well, this month we've been concentrating mainly on sorting out all my fencing down the side of my plot, as it had been up a couple of years, and you know my DIY skills absolutely rubbish, and most of it had fell back down again. So we've put it in a lot stronger now, and it should theoretically last for quite a few years, but we'll see about that. So it's all back up, it's all nicely fastened together, and we've sorted out all my flower borders as well down the sides of my plot, as my plot is higher than the neighbour's plot, so it had a lot of the soil had dropped out of it. So we've put a proper wooden border down the side to hold the soil in, and we've also filled them all back up with fresh compost so that we can plant some summer bulbs and we can plant lots of flowers down the side of it. Now I've been out and purchased lots of gladioli corns. They're not bulbs, they're called corns. So we picked up a load of gladioli corns from our local B&Q because they ran out in other places. So I've been out and got some from B&Q, and we're going to be planting them this month down the sides of my plot. So obviously they'll need to be along my fencing so that I can fasten them to them once the flowers appear, because the flowers do get top heavy, so they do need something to fasten onto. So hopefully if all them gladiolis grow, well, they'll look absolutely fantastic, and the bees again will love them down there. So we've sorted all that out. So we've got all them to plant, and we need to start looking at getting some perennial flowers that will keep growing back year after year, because the more perennials I have, the less I have to buy in the future, because they'll just keep coming back year after year. So I'm looking at getting some like lavenders and maybe heathers down the side, but we'll see. We'll have a look around, but obviously we'll still grow the annuals, which will be like sunflowers and geraniums and petunias and stuff like that, to add lots more flower to them. So we've got all them sorted. So that was one of my big main jobs what I wanted to do, as I've not sorted out my flower borders for quite a long time. So I've obviously got my border at the front of the plot, and I've got my border when I first walk onto the plot, but the main border on my plot has not been looked after really. So we've put quite a lot of time and effort and money into sorting that out, and I will be spending a lot more money towards the end of the year because I want to have spring bulbs all the way down the sides of the plots. So I'm going to be purchasing so many tulips, hyacinths, and daffodils to go all the way down the plot to make it look nice for next spring. So make sure you come back next spring and check out my Instagram and see all the pictures on there. If you're not following my Instagram, do give it a follow because we do post lots of pictures on there. It's called Gardening with Ben. So we've sorted out all that. What else have we sorted out this month? We have been sorting out getting all my beds fixed back together and all the pathways sorted again. Something that I haven't done for a few years. Like a few years ago, what I did, I took out all the beds and I rebuilt them all from scratch. And basically, that is what I've done again this year. I've taken them all up and rebuilt them all because some of the wood was rotten on some of them, so I had to take all them up and they'd come unfastened, so they were trip hazards. All the paths were not level anymore because of me walking on them, and the black membrane had all had it what was down in between the paths. So yeah, I completely stripped the plot back and rebuilt it all from scratch. So that has been a job and a half. And for my pathways, I've got two paths what are paving slabs, so they're nice to walk on and I won't get muddy on them. And the rest of the paths are all wood chip, as we had a load of wood chip delivered to our allotment site. So I've got loads and loads of wood chip paths all over the place. I've still got a bit left to do. I'm just waiting on some more getting delivered, and then all the paths will be finished as well. So it is going to look pretty posh this year, my plot, and the amount of time and effort I've put into it this winter will certainly hopefully pay off. The next main jobs over the next month will be to repaint all my beds and getting them looking brand new again. Well, they won't look brand new, but they'll look a lot nicer than they actually are. And we usually paint them green, even though it does wash off after a bit of time. It does make them look nicer for the time being and for the summer, and it helps stop the wood from rotting as fast. So we'll be getting all them painted and looking spot on. And another job will be to dig over all the beds as well, which I'm planning on doing throughout the March time. So March time, we will be painting all the beds and getting them dug over. I've also bought a sieve as well because I want to sieve the soil because there's a lot of stones in it. So I'm going to try and sieve as many stones out as possible and try and get rid of them just to make it better for growing in. And we're also going to add some nutrients into the soil. We're going to have some manure into it. We're going to add some compost into it. We're just going to improve the soil and hopefully improve our planting. Yes, we are spending a lot of money on it this year, and it's probably cheaper to buy the vegetables from the supermarket, but they won't taste as nice. And hopefully, once they're done, it will last for a few years, and hopefully, we'll get a good crop of stuff. And I don't care about if it costs cheaper to buy it from a supermarket sometimes. It's about the enjoyment of being outside in the garden, in the fresh air, and being with nature. And that's what I get. And it's so good for my mind while I'm down there. And obviously, I live in a flat on my own, so it's good to get out and about. And every day when I'm off work, I'm always down there. Come rain or shine, I was down there this morning when it was absolutely chucking it down. But I got out of the flat and out and about down to the allotment for a bit. So yeah, it has been a busy February. And again, I'm very impressed with what I'm doing. This month is going to be even more busy because we've got all the seeds to start planting this month, which I do enjoy. That's my favourite time of the year. Hence the reason why I get all these jobs done on my allotment through the winter, because March, April time, May time, the busy months with sowing seeds and potting on and getting them all ready to plant out, and that's the exciting part. The winter period is the hard work, I always class it as. So yeah, we have got it all ready, and that's why I always say to start getting your allotment ready for the year after, from September, October onwards, right through winter, and just keep on going and keep going down and getting that work done, and it pays off like it has done for me. And again, hopefully this year is going to be the best year ever down there. So that has been what we've been up to in February. So, like I said, make sure you come back for tomorrow's episode. Tomorrow's episode, we're going to be talking about all the jobs which need doing in March in the garden, allotment, fruit areas, and flower areas. So, make sure you come back for that episode. If you've not followed or subscribed to this podcast, make sure you click the follow button and the notifications on so that you know when new episodes do appear. Feel free to leave a comment as well on Spotify. You can leave a comment or leave a review, and you can leave a review on iTunes as well. So, yeah, thanks for listening to today's episode. As always, everyone, remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben, everyone. And that wraps up another episode of Gardening with Ben. Thank you for joining me in this journey. Remember, every seed planted is a step towards a greener world, and every day is a chance to grow something beautiful. Keep nurturing your gardens and your souls. Until next time, I'm Gardening with Ben, reminding you to let your garden be your sanctuary. Happy gardening, and see you in the next episode. Remember, keep smiling, keep shining, and keep gardening with Ben.